Hi there, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Ray, a Japanese language learner who wants to make her delulu Japanese fluency dream come true, one step at a time. And January has certainly been the month of delulu. So let's have a look at how it's turned out. My goals were reading 2 novels and trying to read a book while listening to the audiobook. So, good news, I read 2 novels and started a third one that I know will take me a little while longer because it's definitely way above my level, but I'm enjoying it and I'm getting all that good vocabulary from it while I'm reading it, so that's great. Now, this is a huge achievement considering I read 4 novels altogether in 2024. The first book was short, but it didn't really grab me, and I should have known because miscommunication trope is one of my pet peeves. Just sit down and talk. Everything with this stupid trope could just be resolved if the characters would just sit together and have a talk before everything kicks off. But no, of course that can't happen. So yeah, it wasn't quite my thing. The second book caused me so much emotional damage, in a good way though, that I didn't actually sleep because I kept thinking about it. There was like a whole night I was just lying awake, and yeah, I just thought so much about the book in context with my life, all the feelings that it invoked in me, and yeah, so just didn't sleep. So much emotional damage. Many tears were cried while reading this book, I can tell you. From like 50% onwards, my eyes weren't dry at any point in time anymore. I think they just kept, I just kept crying. So didn't even know what not crying felt like anymore. So yeah, a very, very emotional book for me. And I think it will stay a special book for me. I think no matter how many Japanese books I will be reading. So yeah, really, really emotional read, that one. This was also the first time that I tried reading a novel while listening to the audiobook. And honestly, it feels like cheating. It's just so immersive. Like, you're reading the text, but you're also hearing the text. And especially as a language learner, I just feel it just adds so much, because for me specifically, I overthink a lot. I mean, I was aware that I overthink a lot while reading, because, whenever I read something and I'm like, oh yeah, I understood that, cool, my brain goes like, oh, why did you understand it? And then I just go into a rabbit hole, and yeah, it just doesn't make the whole experience as enjoyable as it should be, really. So I'm well aware that I'm overthinking while reading, but I didn't quite realize just how much I was overthinking. So reading the rest of the book, I can't quite remember how much I had left. I think I had 18% read when I started. So yeah, if the number's wrong, because I'm just putting it from my head, I'm just going to put it on the screen, the correct number. But anyway, that's where I started. And I finished the book in 8 days. So for me, that is a massive achievement, considering that prior it would take me like a month, 1.5 months to finish a book. So yeah, I know it wasn't quite right from the start, but still, finishing this book within 8 days, absolutely insane to me. That just is such an achievement for me. And while I am aware that I won't be able to keep up that speed with every book that I read, because I'm the type of person, I do read books that are probably not quite my level, yet they will probably take me longer. But I think this one, there was just a sweet spot between it being my level, but also me enjoying the book. And yeah, it just came together and enabled me to read much faster. I also absolutely crushed my prior pages read record in a day in Japanese, and that now stands at 69 pages in a day, which for me is absolutely insane. So while listening to the audiobook, I also started from 0.5 speed rather than from 1, because it takes a little while to get into it, and also I was really worried I was going to miss loads. and I was able to bring that speed up to 0.9 by the end of the book, so that was quite nice. Also really nice improvement to see. And again, I'm sure if it's a book that's a bit more above my level, it's very likely that that won't be a thing. But again, with this book, I was able to do that. So yeah, I really, really loved the book. Even though when I first picked it up, I really wasn't in the mood for it. It just really wasn't my time to read it, I think. I think this was the time I needed to read it. And I absolutely loved it, and I would recommend it to fellow Japanese language learners looking to read their first book. Really, it is such a wonderful read and such an experience to read. Please, please read it. Don't be like me. Don't be, let your first impression get the better of you. I'm so, so glad I picked it back up. I'm really glad. Now, reading 2 books in a month was my goal for January. I'm really glad I hit it, but I almost missed this goal because of my obsession with the Apothecary Diaries. Like, it has become my entire personality, and I just adore Mao Mao. She is one of my favorite characters I've ever met in my entire life, and I love the series so, so much. So the third book that I started reading in January was the first volume of the novels of the Apothecary Diaries. So way above my level, but I hope by reading the first book and mining all that vocabulary and starting to learn it, that will enable me to continue going on reading the books with a little bit more ease. But yeah, my absolute new obsession. This brings me to the series that I have watched in January, which was the Apothecary Diaries. The first season, I binged in a day. Single day. I watched all 24 episodes, and then I realized season 2 is actually coming out. So now, like the rest of all of you, I have to torture myself and watch 1 episode at a time. So it's always really a fun day when the Apothecary Diaries releases in this household, because I'm so excited and I just want to see what's up next, because I haven't gotten that far into the book yet that I don't know yet what's going to happen. So yeah, so really, really enjoying that series. Also, Solo Leveling has come back, and I'm really enjoying this new set of episodes. The animation as before is absolutely incredible, and I'm just really interested to see where it's going to go. I probably want to start reading this one too, so we will see. Another one for my to be reading list. And I also rewatched Noblesse. Really, it's a comfort watch for me. I've watched it many a times, but there is just something about this whole kind of found family all hanging out together and eating good food that just makes it a really comforting watch for me whenever I watch it again. January was also my first month without tracking the hours that I've studied, and I have to admit I was a little bit worried that I'd slack off without tracking my hours and without having that kind of pressure to keep me in check. But actually, it was fine just focusing on the results, like, okay, I want to have 2 novels read this month. It just really lit a fire under me, and it seems that even without tracking my hours, I'm still able to be accountable for my studies, which is great. So that was a really nice thing to see in January, because I was a bit worried about it. Also, on a quite positive note, I've gotten back into my vocabulary-spaced repetition, so that's nice. I'm starting off slow, not doing too many new words in a day, because I don't want to put myself off, right? I want to continue with it, so I'm going to ease myself in and then slowly start adding more words as I go, probably. I also had some amazing focus sessions with study buddies for grammar studies, where we're studying together on forest and growing a tree together. So that was really nice. Regarding the grammar studies, I didn't do as much of it. So I still need to work through N5, 2 and 3 backlog, but I chipped away at it. And that brings me to my February 2025 goals. So in February 2025, I would like to complete basically going through my N5 to N3 gap and also take notes of the grammar points that particularly trouble me. With some of them, it's just that I haven't really studied them very much, and I know that, and that's fine, and just seeing them again and again will be, work for me. But there's some that I do have trouble with because there's just so many grammar points with very similar structure, and I need to just work through that through notes, I think, no matter how resistant I am towards it. I also want to start writing a journal in Japanese in February, so hopefully next time when we're catching up after February, you will see all these pages written with, well, hopefully improving Japanese handwriting. So that's another one of my goals for February. And the big one, I'm hosting a reading challenge in February on Instagram. So feel free to join in. Great readers, manga, novels, audiobooks, everything counts, okay? If you feel you've read that day and you feel that you can tick off a tile, that is amazing, okay? Please don't worry too much about, oh, I'm not sure if this really counts. Don't worry, it's really all about having fun with it. So no need to worry. For myself, for this challenge, the things that I would particularly like to focus on is that I would like to read with others. I think that will just be really awesome and so much fun. I also want to read some manga again, because I haven't really done that, because I was really focused on novel reading, trying to get into the groove with it. And I think I've done that now. So I'm looking forward to some manga reading this month. I would also like to read a non-fiction book for the first time. That would be quite interesting, just to see what kind of language is being used. So that's another one of my goals for this reading challenge. And overall, I would like to finish again 2 books/novels in February. So if we're sticking with that, I mean, I know it will be quite ambitious because I'm reading quite a few things with other people, and I kind of want to fill out as many titles as possible. It's just myself. I see tiles, I just want to finish them. So I have to see how I can bring all those goals together and be successful with them. So let's have a look in, at the end of February, if I've managed to achieve that. Now, regarding this reading challenge, if you've never read in Japanese and are worried about getting started, or you're struggling to build a Japanese reading habit and you've just not been able to be consistent with it, this challenge is absolutely for you. Please don't look at it and think, oh no, it's not on my level anyway. Now, don't worry about filling out all of the tiles. Have fun. Just get started with reading. I know it might seem really, really overwhelming, especially if you just started learning the language, right? There is just so much to learn and so much to take in, but reading will absolutely help you to bring all of the really great stuff that you're learning together. So please don't immediately dismiss that this challenge might be suitable for you. So if you're not sure about it and you need a pep talk, drop me a comment down below or send me a DM and we can have a chat about it. But please don't think that you're not good enough. For the longest time, I thought I wasn't good enough for immersion, and that will be something I do later once I have actually learned Japanese, but that's just not the way this works. It's a language, a living, breathing language, and that's best learned by getting up close to the language. So please consider joining, even if you just started out. I've dropped a whole load of resources that are even approachable for beginner Japanese learners in my Instagram post about the challenge, and I would love to see you there. But yeah, so this was my January roundup and my February goals. So let's crush our Japanese learning goals together again this month. Bye! And have a greetro. Oh my god. Sorry. And have a gree and have a tree grow at the same time. I don't know why that was so difficult.